Hi guys, it's Arthur aka Starbucks CMDR and welcome back to our Star Wars Battlefront Reveal Shows specials. Now since I put my last show up, there's been a ton of information dropped from Anaheim. Some of it I'm going to go into in detail and some of it I'm going to skip over, and I'll go into that in more detail. I know I promised you guys I'd record myself watching the trailer and upload it. I did record myself, I haven't uploaded it. It will be at the end of this show. So I'm going to fade away like Yoda at the end. If you wait a couple of seconds, I'll pop it on at the end of this show. It's nothing special really, it's just me cooing over what we saw when it was released. Hence the reason I didn't upload it, because it wasn't really of much interest to anybody. But it's there, I said I'd do it, and it's done. So I'm going back to what I'm gonna talk about, saying what I'm not going to talk about. What we saw as a trailer, what the general public was shown, so those of us who weren't lucky enough to be at Anaheim, was in-engine footage of the game running and the battle scene at Endor and various other planets. However, what I'm not going to talk about is the actual gameplay that certain press have seen. And the reason I'm going to do that is because since there's a difference between gameplay and gameplay footage, I can only want to talk about what we know is fact. And the reason being, since that gameplay was looked at by journalists, a lot of misinformation has come out. Stuff like there's no aim down sights or whatever it's going to be. And I don't want to do that to you guys. I want to go in what I believe might be in it, as it's my personal view, so we can ascertain from the trailer. And what's actually come from the official EA Twitter account. So what they've said is in the game or is not in the game is what we're going to talk about. And that's the fairest way of doing things. It leads us to be excited about what we can decide for ourselves. It also means I'm not going to tell you anything that isn't true. Okay, so we'll start off with the trailer. I am incredibly impressed with that trailer. It's all in engine, so all Frostbite 3. Sorry, I put my teeth back in. And it looks incredible. I mean, it is, as far as I was concerned, you were there. You were there on Endor. It starts with a Star Destroyer in orbit, pans down. I said, and you'll see at the end of this, I said, oh, there's no Ewoks I'm happy about. But if you look close enough, you do see one of the little dudes run across the bridge. You can hear him sort of do a little jabbering laugh. So they are about. Whether or not they'll be in the game to play or hopefully to kill, I don't know. As it pans down, you see quite a bit of fighting. You see speeder bikes, you see an AST. There's shield generators deployed. Guy uses jetpacks. There's a rocket launcher. Wirings are called in, and then the AT explodes and falls over. Now, there's a lot in that, obviously, to talk about. I've been going through it sort of frame by frame. You do see a few things that are quite interesting and that have been sort of confirmed by EA. One of the things I've noticed is the different races on the Rebel side of things. You see a green-skinned alien creature, which is an Ishtib. If you look hard enough or freeze frame it, if you're sad enough like me, you'll see him. He's got like two big eyes that sort of sit here, big green head. It's pretty hard to miss when you freeze framed it, but he's in there. There's also a Celestian made famous, if you know Star Wars, I'm assuming you do, and the battle scene, the fight of Endor in the Millennium Falcon, you've got Lando and his co-pilot is Nine Num, who is a Celestian, this little guy who sort of sits there and laughs next to Lando. It's quite a cool character, but his race is there. We see jetpacks, and we see a rocket launcher, and we see a shield generator. Now, these are the first real gadgets that are actually been put on display. So we can assume that there are abilities for your character when you play. Whether these are selected or pick up one-shot items, I don't know. You'll notice that a Celestian character picks up or has a rocket launcher when the AST turns up, uses his jetpack, fires it once, and immediately drops it. So whether this is a map pickup, I'm not sure. If that's what they're trying to tell us, again, I'm not sure. We see the AT Walker stomp in. I mean, first off, fantastic the fact they've got this to scale. The fact that this AT Walker is an engine and it is the size it should be. I'm all for this. And if it ties in with the fact that it makes sense as to what happened to the AT Walker at the Battle of Endor and why we don't see it in around Han and Chewie, even better. There's a Star Destroyer in orbit, which I mentioned at the start. Not sure how that's going to play in. Whether or not there'll be like an orbital strike. Is it the Imperials have the equivalent of what the Rebels used to destroy the AT Walker? I don't know, but that's probably why it's there. Obviously, we do know there's a huge space battle going on at the same time as the land battle, so it would make sense that they're about. What else do we see in this trailer? Well, it ends, the sort of Endor bit ends with, obviously, Darth Vader approaching a rebel on the floor. And this is, obviously, the first big thing that we all happen to see, which was there are hero units in the game. So, obviously, there is a Jedi. And the EA Twitter account actually does say everybody wants to play as a Jedi, and we are going to give you that ability. So, we are going to get to be a Jedi. It is a classic trilogy only so far. And I'll go into that in a bit more detail. This is from EA's Twitter account. So if you're going to play as Jedi, we can only assume that will be Obi-Wan Kenobi or old Obi-Wan if it starts in Episode 4, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader. They're the only Jedi that are in the classic trilogy. So they're the three we can assume we're playing. Maybe the Emperor. Who knows? That'd be quite cool to run around as a electrified granddad. That'd be pretty cool. We also see later in the trailer Boba Fett with his jetpack. I don't know what special ability he's going to have, but he looked absolutely fantastic. So he's going to be in there. They have said they're going to announce other characters, so we can only assume what's going to be coming out. I'll go on to the other characters who I think are going to come up later on, because a couple of tweets that come from EA's official account kind of give us some hints as who's going to be in there, and there are some obvious ones as well. So immediately after we see Darth Vader, there's sort of a really ominous shot of Darth Vader's that iconic helmet. Then it flicks to another iconic scene, which is the Battle of Hoth. We see snowspeeders flying across. We see 3 AT walkers. We see trenches. We see gun emplacements. So is this a larger scale battle? One of the things that EA Twitter account talked about was Walker Assault, which is 40 players. So is this what that Walker Assault is, where the objectives are actually to destroy the Imperial Walkers? The Imperial's objective is to defend them. I've yet to find any real detail on this, so I'm going to keep digging away and see if I can get an update on what that's going to be. But pretty cool. There's 3 of these things stomping around on screen with 4 snowspeeders flying across, troops running through trenches, and laser fire going off. It looks incredible. You only see it for like 2 seconds, but it looked absolutely incredible. After I've got my notes, all these notes, right? So basically, you go through this, and after you get Hoth, the next thing we see is obviously Tatooine. Now Tatooine, your eyes are really focused on Boba Fett, which you should be, because it's him flying up and finding his jetpack. But there's some really cool things to note. To the left-hand side, there is a sandcrawler. Whether or not it's drivable, I don't know. Whether or not it's an objective on the map, I don't know. But it's there and it's huge. It's to scale. It's not, they wouldn't have shown it if it wasn't for a reason. To the right-hand side, just on the lower part of that screen, you can actually see a moisture evaporator, and there's a droid. It could just be scenery, or it could be there are map-specific elements. So there could be like a third part in the map. Sandcrawler is obviously driven by the Jawas. So are they like an independent faction that are there on the map that can help or hinder you? Are droids the same way? Or will they be there to repair vehicles or such? I don't know. The coolest thing on this particular little segment, if you look really, really hard, if you freeze frame like I did, if you look in the top right-hand corner, right towards the end of this segment, been around like 3 seconds long, there is actually what appears to be a Star Destroyer crashing into the planet as like a wing of Y-wings scoot across the screen. Now, I'm like, this is really cool, right? If we are actually going to see like a Levolution, a Battlefield is renowned for its Levolution moments. If we're going to see a Levolution moment where a Star Destroyer plows into the planet's surface, then that is going to blow my mind. That is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's what all Star Wars fans will see. And if I can take part, if I can bring a Star Destroyer down, then yeah, I'm all for this. I mean, that is one thing I looked at when I saw that bit of footage. I was like, yeah, Boba Fett is cool, but a Star Destroyer crashing the planet, yeah, that's a little bit cooler than Boba Fett. Don't shoot me for that one. Right, so we go straight from Tatooine. From Tatooine, we go into Sullust. And Sullust is the unknown element, really. If you're a Star Wars fan, you know what Sullust is, sorry. But they're sort of showing it as like an Icelandic sort of rock and ice sort of a land. It was referenced by the DICE devs as kind of like something very, very similar to Iceland. So we see lava that's free-flowing. It's like an Imperial stronghold. They say it's where they build TIE fighters and outwalkers and such things. And you don't see an awful lot of it in this part of the trailer. It's a couple of seconds long. What you do see is an entire hangar bay filled with TIE fighters, like loads of them. They're dropping off the ceiling and flying out of the hangar. It looks like a really open map. I'm not sure if that particular part of the map is used to indicate a huge sort of air battle, because there's a lot of air elements in play there. There's a lot of TIE fighters seen. You see them landing in Falcon. There's not a lot of relief on the land, if that makes sense. There's not many sort of key features. However, you do see a landing platform, and there is a Lambada class shuttle, which is just docked. Now, whether or not that is an element in the game, which is like an objective, or whether you can actually fly it like a troop transport, I don't know. What's key to note is in the trailer that you do see Y-wings, you do see X-wings. So that's 2 flyable craft. You do see the snowspeeder, obviously, but you only see a TIE fighter. You don't see a TIE Interceptor. You don't see a TIE bomber. I'm sure they're in there. It would absolutely make sense that they're in there. But it's not confirmed in the trailer. So the trailer actually gave us a ton of information, and it was really cool. I was gutted on a personal level. I was absolutely gutted that we didn't actually see gameplay footage, because there's a lot more stuff we can learn from that. And I'm similar like you guys are. I never really trust a reveal trailer until I actually see it being played. But that will come. It will come. I'm sure it will come soon enough. So what has been released since the trailer? So what do we know? It comes out on the 19th of November in Europe, 2 days later than our American friends. The 19th of Europe is when it comes out. It does have a DLC, which is the Battle of Jakku. Now, that's pretty cool, because obviously the trailer focuses on sorry, the game focuses on the original trilogy, and the Battle of Jakku is obviously post Endor. So it's about, I think it was a year after Endor. I think it's the lady said on the panel for Dice. And you get to, she explains, you get to see how the Star Destroyer we see in the trailer gets to crash into the planet, and it's going to be pretty cool. What excites me more about that is if you actually watch the trailer, and there's a bit with the Millennium Falcon, or the new trailer, so the bit where Millennium Falcon does a sort of a cartwheel and flies into an exhaust vent being chased by a TIE. Now, if you know your Star Wars, that's not just any exhaust vent. That is a Super Star Destroyer upside down crashed into the planet. Now, are we going to see a Super Star Destroyer in Star Wars Battlefront? Is that going to be part of the element? I mean, that would be, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to say probably not, purely because the scale of that ship would be so hard to manage in a game. I just can't explain. So maybe that's an end of map objective. Maybe that's what happens if you complete set objectives. That's what happens in there. However, Battle of Jakku is the first DLC. It's also free for everybody that buys Battlefront. Jakku, the Battle of Jakku, is free. So that's fantastic. Thumbs up. Also, if you pre-order it, you get it 7 days early. So rather than it be on the 8th of December, it will come out on the 1st of December. So you get to find out exactly what happened on that planet and why it's such a mess. So that's what we know. That's pretty cool. We know it's only going to be on 4 planets that they've confirmed, or the core game. Sorry. So we know it's going to be in Tatooine. We know it's going to be Hoth. We know it's going to be Endor, and we know it's going to be Sullust. They're the 4 planets. They haven't confirmed how many maps are going to be in each planet, but we do know the maps will be indicative of game size. DICE and EA have said there are 40-player battles, which is like the Walker Assault, which is the only game where they've really spoken about, and not in great detail. And there's 8-player battles, so I can only see close quarter maps on those planets, which is just more akin to deathmatch with no vehicles. They have said you can drive an AT-AT, you can control snow speeders and speeder bikes. And then you can pilot an X-Wing and a TIE Fighter. I don't know if there's a difference between piloting and controlling. That has me a little bit worried. I mean, it says you can control a speeder and a speeder bike, and you can pilot a TIE and an X-Wing. So whether that's a very clever play and worse to say, look, don't get hopes of too much, because I'm not sure. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping we can actually pilot these things. What else do we know? We know that there are no space battles. Now, I'm a bit gutted. I'm not going to lie, I am absolutely gutted. However, having seen it in-game footage of the X-Wing chasing the TIE down the canyons, and the amount of air power that's going to be obviously a big part of the game, I'm more than okay with this, because I know where DICE is going with this. I think it'll work just as well. And the fact of having ground elements to duck and weave between and support will be a fantastic addition to Star Wars. It also throws open the option that potentially EA or another company are working on a dedicated space game set in the Star Wars universe. The amount of people that are crying out for space battles, I'd be amazed if no one's taken note of that and said, actually, yeah, we'll release this. So maybe it's for the better. Maybe we're going to get the full Star Wars experience here, and then the space battle thing as a core experience will be a separate game. What else do we know about the game? The game, for those of you that actually care about this sort of stuff, will run in 60 frames per second, 30 frames per second if you're playing it in split screen. And yes, there's a local split screen mode. There is no story element to the game. Am I sad about that? Yes and no. I would have kind of liked to see a story element into it. I can understand why there isn't, because if they've got to work with Lucasfilm, they're trying to keep things under wraps. It's very hard not to sort of step on the toes of canon when you're trying to make a story. That said, you also get to play through the really cool parts of all the films. So you get to do, like, I'm sure there'll be like a Battle of Hoth and stuff like that. And it's also co-op, which is really cool. Only 2 players, but I don't care. That's great. Me and a buddy are going to go around and we're going to go through the Battle of Endor, the Battle of Hoth, the Battle of Tatooine. I am all for that. So I'm really cool that's in there, and I really hope that they really go to town on that. Some other stuff that EA have said that's interesting. Destructibility is in the game, but they're keeping it authentic. What was really cool about from the Star Wars panel to the EA panel was that both J.J. Abrams was all about practical effects and sets, so the models were built as opposed to CGI. And what's really cool is that EA have sort of embraced that and said, yes, although we are an entirely digital product, we want our effects to look as practical as possible. Hence the reason why the Battle of Endor actually looked like stripped straight out of a film. What else have I got? I've got anything else in here? No. Walker Assault, we cover all this. Y-Wings, A-Wings, X-Wings, yes, that's all in there. I think that's about all we know. I don't know. Oh, yes, sorry. I mentioned about, I'm just looking at my notes here. I've mentioned about characters we might see going on. There are 2 additions to the game they've said they're going to be announced. There's a standard edition of Star Wars Battlefront, and there's a deluxe edition. If you're in Europe, which we are, You don't get a hard copy deluxe edition; it's only a digital copy. And there are some extra bits you get with deluxe copy. Now you get some access straight away to weapons, which obviously you unlock later on in the game. One of which is Hand's Blaster, which is the DL44. You get an ion detonator. There's an ion torpedo, and there's some victory emotes, which you unlock straight away. Now that tells us a couple of things. If you know Star Wars, ion cannons or ion stuff are used to disable vehicles as opposed to destroy them. So maybe that's going to be a factor in the game. Hand's Blaster, the Blaster DL44. That's obviously a very clear indicator that Hand's in the game. So Hand will be a playable character, and his gun is obviously super powerful. As opposed, I'm assuming it's like Star Wars version of the Desert Eagle. It's a killer. In Star Wars Legends, the blaster was outlawed in many systems because it was just too powerful. And then victory emotes. That also tells us: are we going to see sort of like cheering and stuff? Like at the end of the match, we're going to see the squads. And we're going to have all this sort of stuff going on with their clapping hands and that sort of stuff, which would make sense if you're allowed to personalise your characters as much as EA have said. They've said that you can. They're going for customization levels that are out of this world, basically. They're saying you can customize pretty much everything about your character, which I'm all for. Allow you to have your own personalized Star Wars experience. So that's kind of all we know factually and from what I've seen from the trailer. I haven't told you anything. I don't think that's false. Everything I've said is in that trailer if you look for it, and then I've just theorized about what that could mean. Everything else I've taken from has come from EA's official Twitter handle and nowhere else. And I would urge you all to do the same stuff. There's a lot of stuff going around at the moment about what's in Star Wars Battlefront. A lot of people jumping on the bandwagon saying there's no aim down sights, there's no this, it is that. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. Trust that EA will tell you what it's going to be. They are legally obliged. They have to tell you the truth. They can't lie to you. And that's it. As a whole, I am incredibly, incredibly excited for this. I've watched that trailer time and time again. It gives me goosebumps. I'm sad to see gameplay, but that in-engine footage is fantastic. And I don't think the game will look just that good on console when it comes out, but I don't think it'll be that far off it. I know there's a lot of talk about high-end PCs and consoles. When you're playing the game, you don't really have a lot of time to stop and look at how translucent a leaf is, right? Okay, you're running along, you've got objectives to face. So that's all we know. I'm sure there'll be another show where I take each one of these parts and look at it in more detail. I'm going to go away and scrabble and try and find about Walker Assault. Until that time, guys, have a great time rewatching the trailer, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Star Wars Battlefront Reveal Show, Episode 2. This is Part 2. Earlier on today, I was speaking at length, just eating my tea really quickly, about what's happening to see in Star Wars Battlefront, and we are literally 30 seconds away from seeing the Star Wars Battlefront trailer live at Anaheim. So the idea here is I'm going to watch the trailer with you guys live, as it were. So I'm going to make it go full screen because it deserves to be full screen. And we're going to discuss what they show, what they see, what they talk about. There has been some rumours already. There's been some leaks coming out from Anaheim. I've tried to avoid it, but it's been inevitable. I had seen some stuff. I'm not going to go into details of the game. Just I've seen pictures of X-wings. I've seen pictures of snow speeders, and there's talk about DLC from Jakku. We are literally 6 seconds from going live. So I'm going to shut up now, and hopefully behind me at some point when I edit this the correct way, you'll be seeing the panel that I'm talking about as we go live. So this is it now. I'm wearing my Triton headset, and I'm going to listen and tune now. Oh wow. So we immediately see Endor. This is all in engine. Oh my. Oh my, this is incredible. This is incredible. Uh-oh. Oh wow, shield generator. Okay. And jetpacks. Oh wow, okay, this is pretty cool. Yeah, that's not good. So this is what we saw at the end of this is what we saw at the end of the Star Wars trailer. And this is all in engine. Oh wow. Okay. Is that like a Levolution moment? Is that? Okay, this is incredible. Oh. Okay. Luke. Oh wow, okay. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Oh. Oh my word. I'm done. That's incredible. Right. Okay. There's a lot to talk about there. Right, so I'm just going to pause that stream and talk about what I've just seen. Okay, wow, I'm okay with that. I'm more than okay with that. So what do we see? I'm trying to remember what I just saw sort of live. Okay, so we saw a Star Destroyer in orbit. We saw an AST. We saw it's all in-game footage. I'm going to say this right now. Yes, it was used with the in-game engine. No, I don't think it looks that good when you play it online. All right, I'm just going to say it right away. I do believe it's the in-game engine, but I don't believe we'll be seeing that amount of fidelity, sort of facial features and stuff. If that happens, then you know what, I'll buy a hat and I'll eat it. But I mean, I'm sure the sort of levels will be very close to that in terms of density of foliage and stuff like that. So much to take in. Well, so we had like a shield generator, which looked like a perk the guy put on the floor. It looked like something out of, I hate to say it, like one of the episode prequel trilogy said, like a mobile shield generator. He put it down there. Obviously, we had, we heard Ewoks, didn't see him. Heard him cheering, didn't see him. That's a good thing in my book, unless you can kill him. I don't really want to see him in the game. I don't want to be an Ewok. Darth Vader was there. Boba Fett was there. So specialist characters are in the game. We saw wirings come in and bomb the AT-AT. That looked, I'm not sure if that was contextual or whether that was something you just call in like an airstrike, because that was amazing. We saw X-Wings flying through a canyon shooting TIE fighters. We saw, that's incredible. I am very, very excited for this game. That was a trailer. I'm going to cut it here and I'm going to watch the rest of the panel and then I'll fill in the rest of whatever happens next after this. So we'll see you in a bit. Okay, bye-bye.